Hello everybody, and aloha for you Hawaiian types. So this is Jim, and just a little tour of where I'm progressing on my dual loop system. That's it right there. That's the fish side of it. And then over here, starting right there, that big hole where it's going to be a sump tank and these grow beds. That's my plant side of it. And to include this, when I hook it up, it's going to be my Dutch bucket system here. Oh, that's my that's how I clean all my lava rock. I've got like 3 inches of silt in there from the lava rock that I washed off. It's a thankless job. So anyway, this has been running overnight. So basically, this is the second day, and I did some changes from my last system in that I'm using an external pump, a 2,500 gallon per hour pump. I'm not going to try to put that into liters, so about 1,000 liters, I guess, per hour. It is a little different design than my last IBC fish tank. I've added that little green barrel there, 55 gallon green barrel, is a Sieve filter that I've added. I got that from Mr. One Superb. Thank you very much if you're ever around looking at this. It's a great design. It works really well so far. I couldn't be happier with it. And I'll show you how that's working. It's kind of noisy when I get over there with all this water running and rushing. As you can see, the barrels are kind of cascading down a little bit. I did that by design because I wanted a really good flow. So that Sieve filter would get a really heavy flow. It seems to be working pretty well. The ground is slightly inclined. That's the high side over there where the fish tank is. And as you go down this way, it slopes a little bit, and until you go all the way out to the road down there, which is even lower. So I've got a gradually sloping landscape here, which is actually a good thing. So this, and I had to put this tarp up because, as you can see, there are trees up there. And those damn birds would like to sit up there and defecate all over my area. So this tarp protects the fish tank from not only the sun but the birds. So we'll start with the sump tank, which is in the ground there. It's that one on the left, the green tank. And you can see there's a 2-inch pipe coming out with a valve. So in the bottom of the sump tank, there's a check valve, and it just has a pipe that goes down to the bottom of the tank. So it comes out of there, goes along this pipe, and it goes all the way to my pump, which is right there. It's an ES 2500. Don't remember who makes it, but 2-inch fittings, and then it comes up and goes into a 1.5, and then the 1.5 dog legs to the left and goes into a 1. I use a 1 because my venturis are 1 inch, and it makes it easy to hook those up. So as you can see, there's that black venturi right there, and there's the air line, and there's a nozzle there. And it just goes up above the fish tank. And the venturi goes in the side, and basically it dog legs to the right. So it pushes the water to the right. Just a little 1-inch bulkhead fitting there. And then it also branches up, and it goes all the way up, and there's a T there. And if you take the upward part, it comes around, there's another valve, and it just flows to the top end of the fish tank. I don't know why I added that. I really don't need it, but I put it there anyway. And then this one comes over, goes past the radial flow filter, down through a valve, and then into another venturi that's inside the tank. Same venturi as the one on the fish tank. So as it comes into the fish tank, I've got a slow here. And then over here I've got a surface skimmer to get all the surface stuff that inevitably always ends up floating. And so this just goes all the way down to the bottom, as you can see. Look how nice and clean the water is when you start a new system. I wish it was still like that all the time. Before the algae takes over and everything. Anyway, it drains out. Oh, and here I got an air pump. I put that on at night because I couldn't watch it. And I didn't want to take any chances in case the pump stopped or something. So it's not on now, but I use it at night as insurance. And I've got 5 fish in there. I don't know if they're visible. They usually stay down in that corner down there, which of course you can't see because all the, you know, the air. There's the air coming up. It kind of obscures that whole quarter of the tank down there. But they're in there. There's 5 of them. They're my test subjects, my guinea pigs. They're doing good. pH is a little high, and I'll bring that down in the next couple days. So anyway, this surface drain goes down, as does this main 2-inch drain to my radial flow filter. And this is the same radial flow filter that I had. And you can see the flow coming up. Okay. And then it simply comes out of here, goes through here, and runs into my biofilter. It's going to get noisy. Well, the biofilter has a venturi inside the filter, which of course you can't see because of the media. But this is the air tube for it right here. And you can see it's churning along really good. Does a really good job of mixing that stuff up. A lot of air. I'm so happy with that. And it stays pretty much at that same level. And then there's my exit pipe is here. I got this going all the way to the bottom of the tank. There's a lot of holes in it. And it comes through there into my sieve filter. Cover that up. It's going to get even noisier here with this sieve filter. One of the reasons I wanted this 2,500 gallon per hour pump was because I needed a good flow for this filter here. So it comes in, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this design by Mr. One Superb on YouTube. That's where I got the idea from. It actually works really well. There's a 100 micron screen there, and it comes in and just goes right through the screen, and any of the particles that don't go through the screen just go off into that channel right there, and they end up going off to the right. There's a chamber on the bottom and back of that screen where the water that goes through the screen goes to, and then there's holes in it, and you can see they come through there, and they cascade into the other chamber on this side and go out that pipe. That little black bulkhead thing down there is how the water from the other filter gets back into the barrel. I'm going to put the lid back on because this is noisy. So this is the bucket that's attached to the side of the barrel. And as you can see, it comes in. This is the channel that it came in from. And it goes into these 100 micron felt socks. Now these are clean because I cleaned them this morning, but they were filthy this morning. I mean, really, really bad. You can see they're starting to, they were white this morning after I cleaned them. They were already starting to get dirty. So you can see this thing really catches the dirt and debris. And they fit nicely in there. It's a surface flush here. This is 2 pieces of plexiglass glued together with one cutout smaller than the other. This here is just a safety device. If it you know, these clog up, which I don't think they ever would, but if they did, this thing would come up and flow over and go back into the bucket. So yeah, that works really, really well. I'm really happy with the way that came out. And of course, it all goes back into my sun tank. So that's the fish side of it. And then over here on the back side of these 2 barrels, the radial flow and the biofilters, these are going to be my exits for my, they're going to come to a common pipe that's going to come out and go into my mineralization tank. And that's how I'll drain the solids from these. And it'll just come. This is my mineralization tank here. Actually, there's a lid that goes over this, but this is just a bucket. And you can see it's got holes in the bottom. And this tank is just a big empty tank with, that's got a spa venturi pointing down. And here's the air hose right here. And so basically, fresh water is gonna, the dirty water rather, it's gonna have to come up to the bottom of this bucket. It'll be filtered with that 100 micron screen in the bottom, which is removable. And this felt pad, it's about a 1-inch felt pad, and it will go over the 100 micron screen. And so all the clean water that comes in this bucket will go out through a pipe, out through the side of the barrel, and then it'll go into this big hole here, which will someday have a IBC, and it'll act as a sump tank for the plant side. Okay, so then that'll just go round and round. The pump will be in this big sump tank here, and it'll pump around and around in here and through the venturi down there, and then clean water will come out and go back into the sump. And then on this side of this tank, I'll have my inlet from my other 2 tanks on the fish side for the solids. At least that's the plan. And then there's another hole here. Got lots of holes. Back breaking because all the roots digging these holes. This will be a 55-gallon additional sump tank, and it'll probably be aerated, although I haven't decided that yet. But it'll be where I'll introduce my other nutrients that I may, need for whatever plants I have here. Sort of a hydroponic type mixing tank. And then this is these are my grow beds. I got 2 IBCs and a 90-gallon cement mixing bucket. Those are sumps, and that's a sump. The reason that sump's in the middle is because I got this from somebody, and he already had the hole drilled, so I just used the same hole. I wouldn't have put it there, but that's just me. And then this one, I haven't filled with anything yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. And I'm thinking maybe this could become a floating bed. And I got some ideas for a floating bed. And this, of course, is just another. I use the same kind of siphons for all of them. Something with a tube goes in, breaks the siphon. And you can see those are removable. I can change out the height of these drains and stuff. And I have a little cup down there, which helps the siphon action. And I cover it with some drain lids, keep stuff from going in there. And they're all the same basically. And so I got them all discharging into a 2-inch drain pipe, which comes all the way down. And we'll go back into this main ABC tanker. And then I have my Dutch bucket system that I'll hook up to the pump. And I had that on the other side too. So today my plan is to catch all the fish out of the old system and bring them into this system. This has been running for about half a day. It ran yesterday afternoon and then all night tonight, or last night. And it looks like it's doing pretty good. I had a little problem with, most people have, with figuring out the valve settings to keep the water from rising and overflowing the top of this thing. I think I got it figured out now. I might have too much pump for what I got here. I don't know, but at any rate, it's working now. I'm not sure I like this external pump because you got to prime it, obviously, and that's why I put a check valve in there so it would back up and stay primed. The only thing I have to put on here that I don't have on here is a filter basket just on the front of that pump, and I'm going to do that as soon as I can get one. That way, anything that does get into this tank, and I can't picture anything getting in there, but Murphy's Law prevails, it won't go in through here and ruin my pump. And I had an experience with some of this media because I screwed up and left off the drain filter. I started it up and all that plastic media went out into here, and a couple of them went into the sump tank, and one or two of them went into there, and I had shredded plastic. Luckily, the pump continued to work. I had to take it all apart, take it off, clean it out. I took a shop vac and vacuumed out both input and output, and got all the plastic shredded pieces. And after that, it worked fine. But I had to take all that apart, and boy, I'm glad I put unions on everything. Because it's easy enough just to take all that apart, remove all the pieces, make sure there's nothing in them, and then put them all back together. So I highly recommend those unions. I got one there too. I'm gonna start putting them everywhere. So that's the beginning of the dual loop. And any questions, comments are much appreciated. Many thanks to Mr. Vanderwerf for his ideas that I incorporated here, Rob Bob for his ideas that I incorporated here, and Mr. One Superb, and all you guys on the Aquaponics Nations forum who also contributed over the last couple of years to ideas and information that I've used. And aloha.